The old man followed behind, slowly, resting often. Halfway up the hill, Jake stopped to catch his breath. The path was silent, except for the sound of wind brushing through the trees. He looked down at the bags, at the thought of all that money inside. Gold, silver, bronze, more wealth than he had ever dreamed of. Then, quietly, a thought slipped into his mind. If I run away now, the old man will never catch me. He shook his head. No, that's wrong. I can't do that. But another voice followed, whispering softly, He's old. He won't need it for long. What's he going to do with all that money anyway? You could start a new life. You deserve it. The climb grew steeper, but so did the battle inside his heart. Step after step, his honesty fought against temptation. The whispers grew louder, dreams of riches, a big house, fine clothes, a life without worry. By the time he reached the top of the hill, Jake's mind was no longer calm. The old man was far behind, barely visible on the slope below. The road ahead stretched empty and free. Jake stood there for a long time, breathing heavily. Then, almost without realizing it, he started to run down the other side, faster and faster, until the bags bounced against his back and the wind roared in his ears. He didn't stop until he reached his small home at the edge of town. He dropped the bags on the floor, gasping, his heart racing with excitement and guilt. His hands shook as he opened the first one. Inside, there was no gold, only stones. He froze, confused. Quickly, he opened the second. Stones again. Then the third, more stones. His hands trembled as he reached inside and found a folded note.
Jake unfolded the note with shaking hands. The words seemed to burn into his mind. I am the king of this land. I have no family or heir, and I've been searching for an honest person to adopt as my son and future king. If you had not run away, you would have been that person. A cold wave of regret crashed over him. His chest tightened, and for a moment he felt as if the world itself had shifted beneath his feet. All his life he had worked hard, stayed honest, and held fast to his values. Yet in a single moment, a fleeting thought of greed had led him astray, changing the course of his life forever. He remembered the climb, the river, the weight of the bags. He remembered the calm eyes of the old man, the trust in that gaze, and how he had let temptation whisper louder than his conscience. That one small decision, that single moment of weakness, had cost him more than he could have imagined. Jake sank to the floor, staring at the stones, feeling the weight of his choices pressing down on him. And yet, in that bitter moment, a lesson crystallized. Thoughts were more than fleeting sparks. They were seeds, capable of growing into actions that shaped lives. A single thought, unchecked, could lead even the most honest person to betray everything they stood for. From that day forward, Jake understood something essential. True power lies not in wealth or rewards, but in mastery over one's own mind. Each thought had to be nurtured carefully, like tending to a garden.
Honesty, patience, and integrity were the seeds that, when cultivated, could grow into a life of purpose and fulfillment. Greed, envy, and fleeting desires could bloom into disaster if allowed to take root. The story of Jake reminds us how fragile human choices are, and how easily a moment of temptation can derail a lifetime of virtue. It teaches us to pause, to breathe, and to question every thought that tempts us away from our values. To protect the future, we must first guard our minds. Every action begins with a thought. Words follow, habits form, and those habits shape the destiny we walk into each day. Jake's failure was a harsh teacher, but his regret became a guide. Even the smallest lapse in mental discipline can cost us everything we hold dear. Yet by consciously choosing honesty and integrity, by planting seeds of positive thought, we can shape a life that no setback, no temptation, and no fleeting desire can ever destroy. Let this story settle in your mind. Every thought matters, every decision counts, and every moment is an opportunity to strengthen your inner self. If we learn to control our minds, to honor our values, even when temptation whispers the sweetest lies, we hold the power to shape our destiny in ways far beyond gold, silver, or fleeting riches.